Good evening. My name is Parker Gaskell, political historian, ex-hypebeast, and tonight I'm going to share with you a story that shook our nation, the Watergate Scandal of '72.
Good evening, folks. Tonight we'll be joined by the renowned political historian, Mr. Parker Gaskell.
Hi.
Good evening, sir.
How are you tonight, Mr. Evans?
Fine, thank you. The first question we need to ask you tonight that our nation is wondering about, what is the constitutional issue of this Watergate scandal?
Mr. Evans, I would have to say that the constitutional issue in that took place in this whole event was that President Richard Nixon, 37th by the way, he believed that he had absolute executive privilege, and it turned out he didn't. He believed that just because he was president that he wouldn't have any actions, or he wouldn't have any consequences for his actions.
What do you feel the verdict is?
The verdict turned out to be, in the Supreme Court, 100% of the Supreme Court voted and said that he had not had absolute but limited executive privilege, and that he would gain consequences for his actions.
I see. Well, in your expert opinion, Mr. Gaskell, what are the short-term effects of all this?
Well, back in 1972 through 73, there were mainly shocks around the nation because of the popularity that it received, and also in the United States, a large amount of protests took place. There were multiple examples would be impeach Nixon. That was a very popular slogan, obviously. Richard Nixon's slogan was "Nixon's the one," and it so happened to be that there was no proof proven that he was the main person behind the whole scandal, but he did have a recording system installed in 1971 in the presidential office, and once it did get out once it got out that there were 5 men in the Watergate complex and they had stolen official documents.
Interesting, very interesting. Well, if we could ask you one more question, please, it would be what we all really want to know. What is the long-term effects in your opinion, sir?
I would have to say that the long-term effects would be the Congress and Supreme Court is now much more strict of dealing with issues that also happen that deal with the White House.
Freeze, scumbags! Very nice. Mr. Gaskell, we thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you to all our sponsors, and good night.